Hey, friends, thank you so much for tuning into this week's edition of Lunch with me, Mr. Sharp. I am super excited to have you here. It is World Read Aloud Week, which is one of the greatest weeks of the entire school year. I love reading aloud to my students, and I love celebrating it even more this particular week. So Thursday, February 2nd, be sure to read aloud to kids and be sure to be read aloud to by people. It's just an amazing thing. There's nothing like a great read aloud, right? Like who doesn't remember falling in love with a book or a series or reading in general because of people reading aloud to you? It is truly a magical experience. I've read a couple of books the last couple of weeks that I really want to talk about. They are phenomenal. I think they share some themes. They are The Truth as Told by Mason Buttle by Leslie Connor and Smart Cookie by Elly Swartz. One thing that I love about both of these books is just the main character is someone that you won't soon forget. It's a character that you will love, that you will cherish, and that you will hold close in your heart for a really long time. One thing that these books have in common is they both deal with loss. They both deal with the death of a loved one. And it's interesting because in both books, the death occurs before the book starts. In Mason Buttle, Mason's best friend dies before the book starts. And in Smart Cookie, Frankie's mother dies before the book starts. And I don't know, I cannot imagine what it would be like to lose someone so close to me. I'm 36 years old and I haven't lost anyone. I mean, I've lost all of my grandparents, which was awful, but they lived pretty good and full lives. So, it wasn't like it was unexpected or tragic like it was in the two instances in these books. It was so sad. And I don't know, it's just like, I can't imagine that happening. So to think that kids could have books like this to help them through situations like this makes me really happy. I got Mason Buttle. Mason's best friend dies, falls from the ladder up to the tree house, and Mason was the last one to see him alive. And then Mason found him, and then this police officer really thinks Mason knows more than he's saying, and Mason's convinced that they're telling him that he doesn't know anymore, and Mason's trying to get his thoughts out, and he really struggles with writing. He's this big, huge 7th grade kid who sweats a lot. He's got it's just life is hard. And he has a hard time writing, but uses this thing called the Dragon, which it does text to type, and he really finds his voice through writing. He makes a new friend, and then something crazy happens with his new friend. Holy smokes. Oh, I love this book. This is the second Leslie Connor book that I read. I also read All Rise for the Honorable Perry T. Cook, and she just gets middle grade readers. She creates these amazing characters. Like, her characters are unforgettable. Love this book. All right. Smart Cookie. So this is Elly Swartz's second middle grade novel. And when you read a book by a new author and you really love it, example, Elly Swartz is Finding Perfect, you wonder, man, is this author really this good, or was it a fluke? Like, let's be real. That crosses the reader's mind at times. So I always am very anxious to read a second book by an author, and this book did not disappoint. Smart Cookie is phenomenal. Frankie's mother dies in a car accident during a lightning storm. And Frankie and her dad and her grandmother are just trying to deal with that. I love that Frankie sets up a dating profile for her father because she wants him to find someone new. And so she's like screening all these girls and emailing them like she's her dad. That is hilarious. I thought that was wonderful. And I cannot imagine that happening in real life, but it's had to have happened in real life. Like, I can totally see kids doing that. And I would love to think about like a 12-year-old girl pretending to be like a 35-year-old man like me. That would just be hilarious. Like, thinking of like my own kids trying to do that. I mean, I'm happily married, but it's just funny to me. I really love these books. I think that they're important for kids. I think it's important for kids to have books like this to help them through things. And not only that, but also if things like this aren't happening to them, I think it's really important for kids to be able to relate to other kids who maybe are struggling with these sorts of things, and just to think about things that are going to happen later on in their lives. 2 wonderful books. Highly recommend both of these. This book came out, I believe, last week, and I believe this book comes out tomorrow. I think 23rd, 30th. Both have January there on the end. So 2 wonderful books. Highly recommend them. I think they both actually make really good read alouds as well. And the book that I'm reading now is You Go First by Erin Entrada Kelly. I have only read the first 18 pages. Check out my bookmark string cheese wrapper. This book is going to be so good. I could tell on page two. When I got to page two, I said, Newbery. Not that this book is going to win the Newbery, but just the writing made me think of that quality. And also, Newbery's on my mind because we are 2 weeks exactly from crowning new champions of children's literature. Newbery, Caldecott, Geisel, Prince, Seibert, all Kreisky, all of those awards are coming soon. Pella Beaupre, all of those are coming soon. So I think I'm already thinking Newbery. But the writing in this is just beautiful. Charlotte, the book starts with Charlotte at the hospital, and then you quickly see that earlier that day she was in class and she was pulled out of class because her dad has a heart attack. And then this is Ben, and like within the very first few pages, Ben's bombshell is dropped by Ben's parents. And I don't know if I should give it away. I mean, it happens in the first few pages. But anyways, these two characters who live thousands of miles apart it looks like they are friends or they're becoming friends. There's been some hints, and I kind of have some predictions, but don't want to step out on a limb too much if I'm not correct. Anyways, I'm really loving this book. I wish that I could just sit and read it all afternoon. That would be really fun. But I have a wonderful class to teach. I'm going to get into that. Anyways, I hope you're all having a wonderful Monday. I would love to know what books you are reading. If you're reading anything great, what do I need to add to my to-read list? Please let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day and happy reading.